Everybody say senior night. And if you're curious about what senior night is, it is a night for the seniors and for you guys too. So if this is your first time, so grateful you're here. Tonight's going to look a little bit different than normal, but tonight's a night that I look forward to each and every year. In a moment, I'm going to invite our seniors up here and going to ask them a number of questions related to their time here at Westside. And we've got seniors from all different walks of life and experiences, following Jesus, experiences in our church. And tonight's a night where they get to share a little bit of that with you. And I really believe that, even though we're not up here and one of us is not preaching God's word to you guys in kind of the normal format that what we do, I think that the testimony that these seniors are going to share tonight of how God's moved in their life, I think that matters. I think that's encouraging. And so tonight, just like any other night, I'd encourage you to lock in, to take notes. Our seniors are going to share some really solid advice with you guys that they've learned over a lot of time in youth ministry. And so tonight's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm going to invite our seniors up here, and you're going to make a lot of noise and encourage them because tonight's going to be great. And so seniors, come on up. Rest of you guys, cheer them on, make some noise. Let's rock and roll. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, senior night. So I'm going to ask a number of questions. And I'm going to start over here, and we're going to answer them all the way across as we go down. And so question number one, what is your name? Where'd you graduate from high school, and what are your plans now that you've graduated?
All right, well, my name's Audrey Schmidt. I graduated from the Rock School, and I'm going to Liberty University, that's in Virginia, in the fall, and I'm going to be dual majoring in English and theater.
Okay, hello. My name is Olivia Everson. I just graduated from the Rock School, and where am I going? I'm going to Santa Fe, and I'm just going to get my associates, and I'm going in the direction of dental hygiene, but I don't know yet, so yeah.
I'm Madison Schoenthaler. I graduated from homeschool. Been homeschooled pretty much my entire life, and then I'm going to Santa Fe for nursing.
Hi, my name is Addison Jackson. I just graduated from Countryside Christian last week. Next week, I leave and start my summer internship, where I'll be traveling around the southern part of the U.S., and I will be a camp counselor, and I'll also be a missionary. After that, I'll get back in July and go to Liberty University in August. I will be majoring in nursing with potentially a minor in youth ministry.
Hi, my name is Audrey. I was homeschooled my whole life until my senior year. I started going to Santa Fe College. After I graduate, or I did graduate, I'm going to continue at Santa Fe for another year and then go to Valdosta State University for sign language interpreting.
My name is Gabrielle Bauer. I was homeschooled, and I'm going to be a nail technician.
Hey, I'm Darren Johnson. I was homeschooled, and I'm going to go wherever the Lord leads me.
Hello, my name is Benjamin Tackett. I was previously attending the Rock School, and I'm going on to Santa Fe College to study sales, marketing, and business finance.
Hi, my name is Jackson Allman.
Yeah, Jackson!
Thank you. I graduated from homeschool, and I am full-time construction worker.
Love you. My name is Luke, and I graduate from homeschool. I plan on going to Trinity Baptist in Jacksonville for biblical studies.
My favorite answer, and I'm going to go where the Lord leads. That's a good one. That's a good one. I love that. Next question for the crew. And this is a broad-ranging one. Feel free to answer I guess you can answer however you'd like for all the questions. But tell us about some of the ways that you've been involved at Westside, and then why did you decide to serve in that capacity, join that group, go on that trip, etc. And so the reason I asked this question is my guess is we've got all sorts of involvement represented up on this stage, and we've got all sorts of different people in this room, people that maybe are super involved, people that are new here and haven't taken a next step. Let us into a little bit of your experience and the why behind it.
All right, so I've served in a few different ways over my years here. I've been here for 7 years. But my favorite has been a thing called Night to Shine. So some of you guys might recognize the name of it. It is a prom for people who have special needs. We host it every year in February, and it is the best thing I do all year. It's so much fun. I got to be a buddy and go around with someone who was a guest, and they were so sweet. And then the last 2 years, I've gotten to be a Disney princess. So I just dress up as Belle and take pictures and dance with people, and it is so much fun. And it's really kind of shown me like how we should be caring for people who have special needs, and how we should be trying to make everyone feel like they're important and the way that God sees them.
Okay, so I'm actually fairly new here, so I actually haven't really been a part of the serving team, but I actually just did, like with all Pastor Chauncey's messages about serving and everything, I actually did sign up to be a part of the preschool, I think it was, and so that is to come, but yeah.
I love that, and my guess is that you're not the only one in that boat. And so my question is related to as it goes forward too. There's all sorts of ways to be involved at Westside, and one of those is serving. But we don't do just things on Wednesday nights too. We do them on Sunday mornings. And so I know you've been a big part of our senior life group on Sunday morning too, and things like that. But just to broaden the question as we go down, there's all sorts of ways to get involved at Westside. And so if it's serving, great. But if not, would love to let us into that experience too. But I should have been more clear from the get-go. Go for it.
Well, I've served in a lot of capacities too. It's kind of complicated because my family spent the last 8 summers in Alaska serving as sent missionaries with Westside. So that's meant I haven't been able to really commit to individual serving teams at Westside because I haven't been here for the whole year. But this past year, I've been able to be on both Student Serve and the Student Serve lead team. So I've been able to help with setting up all the events and also doing check-in and stuff on Wednesday mornings. So that's definitely been a highlight of my year for sure.
I've served in a few different capacities. Pretty much I've gotten a special look at every walk of life. I've done nursery and children's ministry, youth ministry, senior citizen, our 55 plus ministry. So I've gotten a good range of everything. I've also gone on 2 mission trips to Alaska to help out the Schoenthalers, and that was a really special time for me. And the reason why I started serving, I guess just peers encouraged me. Student Serve, I actually wasn't planning, we were talking about this earlier. I actually wasn't planning on doing Student Serve, but in my 9th grade year, Zach and Amber just signed me up and sent me a text message and told me where to show up. So I showed up and I served all 4 years and I really loved it. So, yeah.
I serve in a couple ministries, like the nursery and photography, but I serve here. And on Wednesday nights, I'm in the guest experience team. And the reason why I do it and I love to do it is because like back in middle school, I was a really, really shy kid. I would just like stay against the wall like the whole time until service started. And so like as I became like a senior in like older high school, I realized how much it meant to me to make sure other kids feel loved by Jesus and by us, because yeah, that's just like, it's special to me. So yeah.
I've served in VBS for the past 2 years on snack team, and that's just felt like, I think working with like kids and like youth, well not youth, but you know, the younger members of our congregation is really important. Really important, because for a lot of kids, you know, VBS is like one of the few times they might see Jesus, because maybe their family doesn't even go to church or go to this church. So I really enjoyed serving VBS.
I've also served at VBS on the snack team with you, and a few years before that as well. And it's really great to see all the kids be very encouraged by the gospel.
One of my favorite things to serve here at Westside was does speaking at the senior sermon count?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I'm also pretty new, so I haven't done a lot of serving as well. So that was fun, and I enjoyed that, and I got to meet some new people and get close to a bunch of other of the seniors as well. So that was very nice.
I have been serving, I don't know when I started, but the first thing I did was children's choir, and then VBS and student serve. I've gone on 3 mission trips, and I'm excited and ready for my 4th. Yeah.
I've served in a couple ways, but for sure my favorite was student serve. My older brother was the youth pastor at the time when I was in 9th grade, and he kind of forced me to do it. But I'm very glad he forced me to do it, because it's been very, very fulfilling and very fun. So.
Cool. I think it's cool to see, we got a lot of seniors on the stage, but you guys have been involved in so many things, and involved not just to check a box, but involved in a way that actually impacts the life of our church in some really meaningful ways, whether that's a VBS Night to Shine, a mission trip. And so as we go across the board, just so encouraged to hear the ways in which you've used your time and your money and your gifts to like invest in other people, and really encouraged by the example that sets for all of our students in the room right here. And so you guys rock. This next one, this is a fun one. What's a favorite memory of yours from your time at Westside? Favorite memory?
I feel like I already said this, but Night to Shine. It's just like you won't understand until you go volunteer and you be there. Like that's the only time you're going to see a disco ball in the sanctuary. But it's really, I don't know. It's just such a fun event, and everyone's there to have a good time. And so just seeing the joy that it brings to everyone is really special.
That is good. Okay, so one of my favorite memory, I think, is from Youth Weekend, actually. It's kind of where I met all of you, like, intimately, like, for real. And I actually, like, made real friends who are also Christian, who also care about me, and they're going to help me in my faith as well. And so it was a very, very sweet time.
Well, I have a lot of favorite memories, and I've been to a youth weekend like for the past 7 years, but this youth weekend was definitely my favorite. I didn't have super high hopes going into it because I feel like every youth weekend is like always the same, but this one was definitely very different. We had a really good group of people, so we stayed up like late every night playing Just Dance, and it was really fun. That's probably my favorite memory.
Oh, sorry. My favorite memory definitely has to be Camp 2020. It was, I don't even really think we were supposed to go to camp during COVID, but somehow we got the clearance and a really small group of us went up there. I think it was like 80 students and counselors all together. And I'm definitely a type of person that thrives on like chaos and craziness. And that was definitely a good 2 words to describe camp. Feel like nothing that we planned went the right way and it was all over the place. And God started to work on my heart with a call to ministry, which he ended up revealing to me about a year later. So that was really special. And I also just met some people and connected with some people that really laid like the foundation for my community at youth group. And so, yeah, I loved Camp 2020.
I grew up going to West Side, so there's a lot of memories that I have, like Just Dance as well. But my favorite was probably, I went to Denver the past 2 years, and my first time going, I got to have my first gospel conversation, and it wasn't going to even happen until we like went downstairs one day, and there's this therapist, and she didn't even reject me. She was like, "Oh, tell me more about you. Like, why do you believe this?" And like, it was great, and that was probably my favorite.
I also have a lot of favorite memories. A lot of them are with these people, whether that's like, going to Jeremiah's the other week or like going bowling last year. I would say probably Camp 2025 was my favorite memory, because the girls' cabin was really fun, and I liked my group, and camp is cool.
Some of my favorite memories here have actually been at camp. Yeah.
That's it?
All right. I'd say I have a lot of favorite memories, so it's hard to like say one specifically. But I think every time we all went to go hang out after youth or after church on Sunday or any other time, I think those are some of the most fun times I've had. Just making friends and building a community. Yeah.
I don't know what my favorite memory is, but the first one that comes to mind, particular event, 2 years ago, Denver. What a time. If you guys ever go on a mission trip and this guy right here is in the college ministry, you are in for a treat. When he gets tired, funny things happen. He had a really bad headache, took way too much Tylenol, went to jump on the bed and just hit the floor.
That hurt really bad. That hurt really bad. My favorite memory that I remember would probably be, I think it was 9th grade year at youth weekend. Our host home had a very long staircase, and we decided it would be a good idea to get in our sleeping bags and slide down the staircase. And it was going good for like the first hour, and then we hit the wall a little too hard, and there was like a head-shaped hole into the wall. And then we just covered it back up. I don't know if they know that was us, but so.
I do love learning things at senior night. That's kind of fun. One of the common threads, and I don't know if you guys heard this too. By the way, evidenced by the last two answers, I don't vet what they say. These are all honest, in the best way. But one of the common themes, I think, with most, if not all, of the favorite memories represented up here was they were stuff that happened outside of Sundays and Wednesdays. So like what we do here every single week and what we do on Sunday, they're essential, they're necessary, but the things that stick with you, the moments that transform you, the fun stuff that you remember, it's the time outside of Sunday and Wednesday. It's the casual lunch after church, which you heard with a lot of them. It was the camp I went to. It was the youth weekend I went to. That is about the easiest plug I can give for you to come to youth camp this summer. There's a reason we talk about it as much as we do. Because when you come there, you are going to make memories that you remember when you're a senior up here at senior night. But God's also going to move in your life in some really cool ways if you let Him. There are few weeks in your life that you get to spend like that. Don't miss this one. Sign up for it. Be a part of what God does at youth camp. You'll have stories at senior night to tell. And friendships that last a whole lot longer in youth ministry. This next one, now we get into the sage wisdom of the seniors to give to all of our students. What's something that you have learned at Westside? Something you've learned, something God has taught you, however you want to answer that question.
I think for me, the biggest thing that stands out is that God can use any sermon. I think the one that I remember, it was either Ezra or Ezekiel. It's one of the names from the Old Testament. I remember Nathan was preaching about whichever one of them built the temple. And I had been going through something very difficult on a more personal level. And, it's crazy. It's just something from the Old Testament. I feel like a lot of times we think that that's not something that's going to resonate with us as much. But it lined up perfectly with what I was going through. And it was really crazy. Anyone who was there remembers, I was I couldn't even talk. I was crying so hard. And so, if God can use that, He can use really any sermon at all. And so just keep your mind open. And if you listen to hear things, God will speak to you.
Okay, so the first thing that comes to my mind, I'll just say this. The fear of God is so important, especially when you're coming in contact with the world and the fears of this world. I don't know where or when I learned this, but it's just if you are fearing God and you truly fear God, then the fears of this world are nothing, and you should not be afraid of anything in this world because God is so much bigger. And He's guiding you, and no matter what, He's going to deliver you because He has a plan and a purpose. So have peace and do not fear. I'm talking to y'all right now, and I have peace because God is going to deliver me. So.
I guess what I've learned the most is just be open and honest, especially with your breakout teams. They're there for a reason. They're there to support you and be there for you. It took our team definitely a very long time to get to that point.
Yes.
It took probably until this year for us to finally be sharing what's actually going on in life and giving insights into what we're actually thinking. But that's definitely my biggest thing to take away from youth is they're here for you. Your team is here. They care for you. Your leaders want to know things. So just be honest with people. Good stuff.
I wrote this one down because if not, I'm going to ramble. One thing I've learned through high school is not to let every disappointment affect you so deeply. I'm a person that feels really, really deeply. In some ways it's a blessing, some ways it's a curse. But there were so many things I wanted to work out in a certain way and they didn't. And I I thought that everything was falling apart because they did, and I thought my world was ending. But looking back now, I'm honestly so thankful that things didn't go my way, because my life is a lot cooler now than the one that I thought I wanted to live. Keep moving forward, trust God through the changes, and remember that sometimes an unanswered prayer ends up being one of the biggest blessings.
Something that I learned at Westside is to get out of your comfort zone, because I was really shy, like I was saying earlier, and also really, really stubborn. Like, my first Denver trip, did not want to go, like, at all. And then I really felt God called me to go, so I went, and they couldn't get me off the plane the next year. But definitely listen, because like Addie was saying, you don't know what's going to happen. Like, your biggest blessing could be just like an answered prayer away. So yeah.
Yeah. I have two things. One is kind of like what Audrey said. Like, I used to be pretty shy and scared to talk to people, and I feel like this year my like breakout team has just been like really, kind and easy to talk to, and it's been nice to like get to know people, and like it's okay to be uncomfortable, to like make friends and connect with people who are also Christians. I would say another thing is God can use anything, like any situation you have that you might think like, oh, why is this happening to me? This is super difficult. This is horrible. What did I, do? There's probably something that God is trying to use you for in that situation, and it's not just happening for no reason. So yeah.
One thing that I've learned here is that when you're dealing with conflict, to bring God into it and to really reflect on the Word.
Great words. Great words. So when I first started coming to youth, I started coming to youth before I started coming to church here. And during that time, during that transition period, I was going through a lot of identity. I was having like an identity crisis, like, because a lot of my friends who I thought I was really close with, I wasn't. You know that feeling. And it didn't happen overnight or over a week or a month, but like slowly, I was able to like plant my feet in this group. And although I've been here for only I think it's been a year now. Like some of these people I'm so close with, like I can be myself around them, and if the ugly slips out, you can help tackle it, together. So my advice would be, plant yourself in this community, especially around people who genuinely value God, because they will lift you up more than people who don't care about you.
Something I've learned at Westside, we've been talking a lot about it recently, is the power of prayer, but not just prayer, consistent prayer, and then combine that with fasting. And if you don't know what fasting is, you should. But a general definition of fasting is minimizing or removing something from your life to help you grow closer with God. And that can be video games, time on your phone, just taking away something that you spend time on and giving it back to God. But I think that the most important form of fasting is actually fasting by not eating food and praying.
Something that took me a long time to do was just give the reins to God. give the control to God. And that's something that, as a high schooler, a very prideful high schooler, it's very hard to do. And but once you do it, it's like a weight genuinely lifted off your chest, and it feels like freedom, to be honest. And it feels like you can worship without having to go back home and then be your ruler at home, and then be under God in church, and go back and forth, and to truly be under God at home and at church. And that's something that's genuinely given me freedom. So.
That's a good word, and I appreciate you guys sharing that with your students, with our students. I love to hear the number of you that just talked about, what's the thing you learned? You're here and you've listened to tons of sermons and life groups and messages, but for probably about half you guys, the thing that you learned was just the importance of, it's not just what's up here, it's who we're living life with, And several of your stories was a testament to, just your faithfulness to plant yourself in the community and with the people that God's placed in your life, and just how He's used people right here in this church to encourage and build you up. And so my encouragement, like theirs to you guys, is, hey, maybe you're new or newish here, or maybe you feel on the outskirts. Know that your story isn't unique from some of the stories up here. That's a normal part of being human. Take a next step. Sink your roots down deep. Maybe your story sounds a little bit like somebody on stage, where there's just a willingness to be open and honest and vulnerable with your people. God can bring you some really cool relationships and make you a lot more like Him. And so thanks for sharing that. I love that. Our last question for our seniors tonight. What's a piece of advice or encouragement to share with the group?
I guess kind of like tying this back to what I said earlier, like if you listen and you pay attention, like you're going to get what you put into it. So if you just come to, see your friends after or before, and you're really not here mentally while, Lucas or whoever's preaching is preaching, you're not going to get anything out of it. And so I think that that's important to remember, that if you come with an open heart and you come wanting to sing the worship songs and wanting to hear something new and learn something, you're going to. And so I think that that's just something to, really think about every Wednesday or Sunday, and all of the things in between.
For sure. Okay. I think that something that will really help is actually opening the Bible. Like when you're at home, like instead of opening your phone to scroll forever and ever, put it down, delete Instagram. That's what I did. And use that time in the morning. First thing you think about should be God. And like specifically something that I want to get on is that when we go to the Lord, sometimes I feel like not everyone talks about this, but when you go to the Lord, there's like this guilt almost that's like, I haven't talked to you. I'm kind of feeling like this is not whatever, but that's not from the Lord. And like the more you read the Word and the more that you talk to Him in your free time, without the influence of social media and other things like that, you will become closer with the Lord and actually feel His love and His presence and peace. So yeah.
My advice kind of goes back to what I said for the previous question, but just build community. There's a big group of people that do have really good faiths, especially like in our youth ministry, in your schools. Like there are people out there that can build you up, and my advice, I guess, would just be surround yourself with those people. Like step out of your comfort zone, go talk to the people that you see, and like maybe you feel like you're not like them, or maybe you feel like you'd stand out in that group of people, but you won't. Like that's just the devil trying to get in your head and tell you that you're not good enough for that, but you are. So I guess that would be my advice. Just step out of your comfort zone and build community.
My piece of advice is pretty much the same thing that Maddie just said. I know we've talked a lot about community up here, but I feel like if it wasn't for the community that I've especially built in this past year, I would be in a lot darker of a place than I am now. And not that I'm in a dark place, but I would be in a dark place. And be vulnerable. That's kind of my piece of advice, especially with this group of girls. I think we had, Kristen, did we have you as leader for 3 years? 2 years? Yeah, 3. And I feel like we just got vulnerable with each other this year. We often say from crickets to crying. That's what we say. We pretty much cry every night. And all it took was just a couple of us being vulnerable, and now we legitimately talk about the inside of everybody's lives pretty much every time we're sitting down in our small groups, and it's been really powerful, and especially powerful for the senior year, because I feel like a lot of us girls, at least walking through the senior year, it's been a little different than what we've expected, and I just thank God every day that we had each other to get through it, because it's been hard.
I'm gonna piggyback off of them because community is so important, and it's also really important to have like good friends, not just like friends, but like definitely ones that'll like, I'll be complaining, I'm like, oh, this sucks, and then and like rambling on, and not them being like, oh, I'm so sorry, that's the worst, but then being like calling me out when I fall down, and they're like, Audrey, is that like the best thing you can do? Or like having someone, you're going through a hard time, and you can call them at midnight crying and being like, hey, and you know that they'll lead you to Jesus, and you know that they'll point you back. And like going back to like our team times, because senior year team time has been different, definitely. Like we have to bring a tissue box every Wednesday because one of us is gonna cry. But yeah, if I can say anything, make good friends because they stick with you. Yeah.
I'm going to copy Liv a little bit. I feel like spending time in God's Word, specifically outside of, Wednesday nights and Sunday mornings is really important. I definitely notice like a big, I don't know if quality of life is the right word, but I'm able to like be better equipped like mentally and spiritually like for the day when I like start it by reading scripture. Like if I miss a day, I'm like getting more irritated more easily, or like I'm less excited to like be nice to somebody and show them a little Jesus, at work or something. So I think definitely spending time in God's Word every day, especially the morning, is really helpful to looking more like Him.
Advice that I would give is just to show up as often as you can to church, because you really can learn a lot, and also to pay attention in services.
So, legitimately, you don't have control over a single thing in your life. It's 100% God. So if you can't make it to something, don't stress about it. If God wants you to get there, He'll get you there. If He doesn't, then you won't get there. That doesn't mean don't try. You have to give your 110%, 110% of the time. But if it's not in God's will, you can't go against that, and you're going to stress yourself to go against that. So my advice is try your darndest, or we can't say darn, can we? Try your hardest, but don't stress yourself out because it strains your relationship with God. Yeah. Legitimately.
First thing, older kids, find yourself a youngin' and hang out with them. Listen. High schoolers, find yourself some middle school kids and make them feel appreciated hang out with them. Everybody needs to feel welcomed. And younger kids, find an unk. You can learn a lot from them. Second thing, this might be too deep for you guys because that was, anyway. Second thing, the Bible says a lot of things, has a lot of prophecies, a lot of bad things are going to happen. You guys are going to be tested for your faith. But the Bible doesn't say just because it's going to happen, let it happen. Stand up, face oppression, protect the people around you, and don't lose your faith.
I'd say make sure you're coming here for the right reasons. The first half of my time here at youth, I was not here for the right reasons. Make sure your heart posture's in the right place. Don't just be coming here for friends or to laugh or to impress anybody. Because the people here genuinely care about you, and the people here are genuinely pouring in a lot of time and effort into y'all's lives. And if you're just gonna lock up and ignore them and joke around during service, like genuinely, Jackson's trying to be serious with y'all. Like that was kind of embarrassing, to be honest. If we're up here as a church, we should not be taking words for granted. We should be taking them seriously. And I know personally Jackson has poured a lot into my life. Andrew Bolkelman, Leah Berklew, Lucas High, they poured a lot into my life. And if I didn't take them seriously, I would be in a very different position in my faith. And I owe them a lot. And 6th through 9th graders, y'all need to lock in because y'all's leaders care about y'all. Genuinely. They do not have to be here on Wednesday nights. They could be doing anything. They could be studying, they could be working, but they are here trying to pour into y'all's life, and that's insanely important and insanely fundamental to y'all's growth. So,
Shout out to the leaders.
Well, darn. Senior night's almost over. That was a lot of fun, guys, and I do appreciate your willingness to come up here and share with students. This isn't easy. It's always more comfortable to be out here. It's a really vulnerable thing to share your experience with our crew out here. But I know that we're a really grateful group of students that's grateful for your example, grateful for your encouragement. And so, well, let's give it up for our seniors for sharing with us tonight. But more than just sharing some wisdom with us tonight, I appreciate, as our youth pastor, I appreciate the example that you guys have set for our students of not just showing up, but going above and beyond. You know, a lot of you guys, you talked about how you serve in so many different capacities. You show up and you do it. But then I've witnessed and seen so many examples of you guys just going above and beyond what anyone could ever ask or expect of you. I know some of you guys are here because other people in this group are out here, invited you to be here, maybe even introduced you to Jesus. Thank you for your faithfulness and your example to this crew of what it looks like to love Jesus and love people enough to invite them to Jesus too.